Hi guys, and welcome back to another Dot Race video, and today we're going to be playing MotoGP 21. Continuing on with our MotoGP World Championship, it is time for career mode and round 8 of Catalunya for the Catalan GP. So in this wonderful track on board the Aprilia, and I've got to say I really like this track of Catalunya. I have a great feeling about this one. It reminds me a little bit of Le Mans, a little bit of Jerez, and I did very well on both of those tracks, so I have a pretty good feeling about this particular Grand Prix, and now positioning ourselves just behind the Tech 3 rider of Danilo Petrucci on board the KTM, of course. I think we have a great chance of following him around this circuit and trying to pick up some valuable slipstream to try and get ourselves into the top 10 positions of the end of this free practice session, because of course, as you know, it is imperative to finish in the top 10 positions. Therefore you will go into qualifying 2 if in those top 10 positions, and qualifying has really not been our strong point this season. Last time, before Mugello actually, rather, in Le Mans, of course, very near to a pole position, just missing out by 34,000th of a second. Our pole position went begging, but we did start from the front row, and of course Mugello, quite the opposite. We weren't able to maintain the momentum that we required to getting onto the podium or even in a decent qualifying position, therefore starting from 21st on the grid. Of course, 21st resulted in a good 7th place nonetheless, but we can't keep affording to doing stuff like that. We can't be qualifying so low down like the likes of the Suzuki guys do in real life. It is not good for us, and it's very hard to fight our way through. So we need to make sure we're going to qualify well, therefore giving us the best possible chance of a decent position in the race tonight at 8 PM. And of course, guys, if you are enjoying this series and you'd rather enjoy my content, be sure to subscribe and hit that like button, because it really helps out the channel quite a lot, and I'm on the hunt for 2,000 subscribers, so if you are enjoying these videos, it would help me out a whole bunch if you could just hit that subscribe button and a little bit of a like button as well. But our first lap has concluded. We're in second position, but trailing by 55,000th of a second behind Fabio Quartararo. Let's hope we can improve on this lap as well. But of course, early race pace so far, 139s, 140s, 138 laps are probably going to be incoming, so we need to be upping that benchmark a little bit and improving, because you can see the two Suzuki boys in 6th and 7th chucking in some personal best sectors and even a couple of red sectors for their troubles as well. Now, last time out in Mugello, we did have an upgrade to the engine package and an upgrade to the electronics, I believe it was, and maybe the frame as well. Now, I haven't really felt like there's been much of an improvement. However, I do feel like the engine is giving us a little bit more speed, so the tracks like Catalunya and Qatar, for those long straights, we should, in theory, be able to just hold our own a little bit better than what we have done. You've seen last time out in Mugello, with the slipstream, with the engine power setting 3, we picked up quite a lot of speed, to be honest with you, and the package that we originally went for in the winter testing was the package that had a reduced amount of engine power, because the most important thing for me was tyre life and cornering and being smooth on board the Aprilia RSGP. And this bike isn't the most smoothest one to ride, but I'd like to think we're doing a pretty good job and we're able to consistently improve. I feel like we are doing a good job of improving, although our 17th position right now here in Catalunya doesn't really show it very well. But we now have Alex Marquez ahead of us to be used as a guide, the LCR Castrol Honda man. Now, I did have an opportunity to sign with this team actually at the beginning of the season, which I rejected and went for Aprilia, of course, because you are watching me on board the Aprilia right now. And I've got to say, I am so pleased with my decision to stay with Aprilia, or at least to start with Aprilia. In MotoGP 20, I also chose the Aprilia as well, but I didn't do career mode videos at that point. And I had a good season. It was pretty enjoyable, but ultimately the Aprilia just lacked a little bit of something. I don't think I had a good enough season compared to this one, because of course we're a race winner, numerous podiums, and a front row start to our name. We've had some good fast laps in races as well, and of course a couple of last lap battles with Johan Zarco, and ultimately we're doing a pretty good job. I would say we're definitely going to be contending for the Rookie of the Year. No doubt we're beating Jorge Martin, Luca Marini, and Enea Bastianini, but for the time being, at the present moment, we're doing pretty well as far as I'm concerned, and I do strongly believe that we have more wins and more podiums in our near future. I'm hoping Catalunya can be the one. I'm hoping this lap is going to be enough to put us into the practice session, or at least for qualifying 2 at the end of this practice session, let's say, as we go onto the right-hand side. We will be using Alex Marquez's slipstream as we get across the line after this final corner for the Europe car for turn 13. Bring on the power, bring on the acceleration. Not going to be quite close enough for a bit of slipstream, but across the line we go. We did just briefly drop down to the last position, and now we're up into 11th place, just trailing by 3.5 tenths of a second. Funnily enough, our most tough and fierce competitor this season, Johann Zarco, just 1 position ahead of us. So many times this season we have seen Johann Zarco 1 position ahead of us, and there he is again, the Pramac Ducati man, just ahead of us in 11th spot, as he just actually pipped us a moment ago, as we are now into 12th position. So as things stand, we just need a couple more tenths, and we're going to be right there in contention for a top 10 position. Now, of course, this is free practice 3, so who knows what the other lap times were. I didn't actually check, but for the time being, we need to focus on nothing but getting into qualifying 2 straight away. Whether we're going to be doing it in Q1 and going to Q2, so be it, but we just have to make sure we go into Q2. That is the biggest and most important goal for today's video, because of course the Grand Prix will be tonight at 8 PM. We need to be qualifying in those top couple of rows. At the very least, we need to be on the top 4 rows. Starting beyond that is just so difficult to make our way through and to chase everyone down and to make moves, because of course the tyres start to struggle, and it's just a very, very tough experience because the risk of qualifying so low down, getting bumped into turn 1, there's just so much that can go wrong, and potential for carnage is just too much. So just to mention, Marquez has gone top with a 1:38.876 as we trail his younger brother Alex around this track. This isn't going to be enough for us. We have a good personal best sector and a good second sector in the red, of course, for the second split, but this will not be enough. Therefore, we will be going into Q1. So at the end of practice, Marquez leads the way with 1:38.876. Miguel Oliveira just barely missing out by 0.03 of a second. Jack Miller in third, and of course another KTM of Brad Binder up in the top 4. So looking at the second screen, of course, the pre-qualifying, we are going to be in qualifying 1, and there is some very, very big names in this list right now, so we're all going to be doing battle to take the top 2 positions to get into qualifying 2. So time for qualifying 2. Aleix Espargaro sits at the top right now with a 1:40.141. That is the early benchmark for us to try and beat, as Luca Marini has just gone down, and same can be said there for Joan Mir. Now, of course, Joan Mir starting really poorly in Mugello last time out, and he started way back. I think he even started behind us, and of course we had a good result. Same cannot be said for the Suzuki man, but for the time being, medium front tyres and soft rear to see how we get on in the early moments of this qualifying session. We have the benchmark lap time as there's absolute carnage, just bikes all strewn all over the place around into turn 4. That was definitely going to be cancelling my lap in real life, but for the time being, we're still on board the motorcycle and no yellow flags were waved. Danilo Petrucci has also ended his session early by crashing somewhere around the circuit. It's not sure what's happened there, but we do go up into the second split by 0.4 of a second. Brilliant stuff so far, as Aleix Espargaro has gone down, my Aprilia teammate. Now, I'm a little bit concerned though, because I have chosen the soft option rear tyres, and this might have been a mistake, because as you can see already with the increased temperature in the air, the soft tyre is looking very, very toasty. Very warm, hotter than a blind man's marshmallow at a campfire. It's getting really, really warm, so we're going to have to be on our best behaviour and be rather gentle with this soft tyre for the next couple of corners, especially coming into the likes of turn 13 for the Europe car, because we need to make sure we get the best drive possible coming out of that final corner to make sure we get the power and the speed going across the line. But here we go, bring on the acceleration, nice and tight exit out of that corner, across the line we will go, and it's top position by 0.7 of a second. Impeccable job for Grant right now, the Moto2 World Champion, and just recently a Grand Prix winner in the best class in motorcycle racing. So left hand side for turn 2, we will now go to the right hand side for turn 3, and of course a little bit concerning, we still have that soft option tyre completely on fire right now. Look how red that is in the bottom right corner of your screen as we get completely out of control there going into the entry of the turn 4 there. Very, very scary moment for the Aprilia RSGP man. That was way too scary. hearts in mouths. I do recall so many times we did that in Moto 2 last season that completely scuppered my chances for the qualifying, and I think it even happened in the races as well. But now into the left hand side on the same sector, we improved by 0.4 of a second previously. We are down by 0.4 of a second now as we go into the right hand side for turn 9, an extremely innocuous corner. It doesn't look too bad, but when you actually get there, it can be quite difficult to maintain the speed going into that corner. Hard on the anchors for turn 10 for the left hand side for Catalunya. Very, very difficult corner to get right, but I've got to say I do love the new variant of that corner. Much, much better than the bus stop chicane thing that they had, and even better than the original design, which of course got changed a long time ago. Now, of course, we aren't going to improve on this lap, but I am seeing a lot of orange sectors on the left-hand side of the screen there, so hopefully we're still going to be able to sit in top position with Valentino Rossi as things stand. But there's a couple of riders will get across the line now. As there going to be any changes across the line, Joan Mir goes top with a 1:38.993. I tell you what, that is a good lap coming in from the world champion. Franco Morbidelli has now joined the world champion in second position, so he'll be going in through to qualifying 2. But we now have 1 lap remaining. I made a couple of mistakes on the previous couple of laps. I wanted to change my tyres, and now we've finally changed the tyres. It is time to strike while the irons are hot. Hard option front, medium option rear. Red sector into the first split. This could be the qualifying lap we need to get ourselves into qualifying 2. We've done the business before. We have moved up into qualifying 2 when being in qualifying 1. Cast your minds back to Le Mans. And we did that, moved into qualifying 2 and almost took pole position. Second split will be coming up any moment now as we go underneath the Michelin sign. 0.2 of a second is the gap. We are closing in on a potential third return to qualifying 2, I think it is, or it would be our third attempt, as Catalunya has now gone to the top of the picture. Brilliant job here for the man who crashed in real life here in this very same track, right there into turn 9, I do believe. Now going hard on the brakes for Catalunya for turn 10. We did lose our advantage of 0.2 of a second, and being 5.5 of a second down to Catalunya, things are looking a little bit bleak for the Aprilia RSGP. The lap times will be it after this one. That will be job done as Franco Morbidelli on your left hand side of your screen there. 3 red sectors for the Italian, but it's not quite enough. He stays in third place, but for the time being, all eyes go on to Grant. All eyes go on to the Moto 2 World Champion. The man who is currently second place in the World Championship now fires his Aprilia out of the final corner, and across the line we'll go. Will it be enough? It isn't. We are qualifying in 16th place for the Catalan GP. So guys and gals, hope you enjoyed the video. Like, comment and subscribe if you did, and I'll see you tonight at 8 PM for the Grand Prix. Make sure you're there because I'm sure it's going to be a belter. Thanks for watching guys as always, and I'll see you later on. Ciao for now. Oh hi, didn't quite see you there. Good to see you're still here. If this video didn't quite set your appetite, then why not watch some more Dot Race content by clicking the video shown on screen now. Furthermore, if you would like to follow me on social media, you can do so now with the links down in the description. Consider subscribing so you don't miss a single Dr. Race video.